Welcome to the showdown everyone's been waiting for. Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. In tonight's debate, we saw two different visions for America come to the forefront. But what does it all mean for regular, everyday people like you? Let's break down the 5 key takeaways from their debate, starting with the most important issues on the minds of Americans. Kamala Harris said, "We need to rebuild an economy that works for all Americans, not just the wealthy. That means investing in clean energy jobs, raising the minimum wage, and providing tax cuts for middle-class families who have been struggling." Harris emphasized her commitment to increasing the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour and creating a green economy that addresses climate change while also creating millions of jobs. Her plan also includes tax credits for low and middle income earners, aiming to give families more financial relief. On the other hand, Trump states that his administration already gave the largest tax cuts in history, and it worked. "We had the strongest economy before COVID, and we're going to bring it back again by cutting taxes even further and getting rid of unnecessary regulations that hurt businesses. We're going to focus on energy independence, not shutting down industries." Trump reiterated his stance on tax cuts, deregulation, and his focus on boosting industries like oil and gas. He argued that Harris and the Democrats' plans for the environment would hurt job creation and increase energy prices for everyday Americans. Harris is focused on boosting wages, expanding green jobs, and providing tax cuts to the middle class. At the same time, Trump aims to reduce taxes and regulations to bring back economic growth through traditional energy sectors. Harris said, "Healthcare is a right, not a privilege. We must build on the Affordable Care Act, lower prescription drug prices, and expand access to health care for every American, not take it away." Harris reiterated the Democrats' commitment to building on the Affordable Care Act, focusing on expanding Medicaid, reducing prescription drug prices, and ensuring universal health care access for everyone. Meanwhile, Trump said, "Obamacare is a disaster. We need to repeal it and replace it with something much better, something that provides quality health care at a lower cost. Under my administration, we've already eliminated the individual mandate, and we're working on a plan that protects people with pre-existing conditions." Trump argued that the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, had failed Americans with rising premiums and limited choices. He promised to bring back healthcare reforms that would lower costs and increase access without forcing Americans into government-run plans. Harris supports expanding the Affordable Care Act to cover more Americans and lower drug prices. Trump advocates for repealing and replacing Obamacare, focusing on a market-driven approach to lower costs and increased choice. Harris points out that President Trump's mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic has cost American lives. "We need clear leadership that listens to science and invests in public health measures like testing, vaccines, and economic relief for those impacted." Harris criticized Trump's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, highlighting the high death toll and the economic fallout. She called for stronger federal guidance, expanded testing and vaccination efforts, as well as a focus on rebuilding healthcare infrastructure. But Trump came back with, "We did an amazing job with Operation Warp Speed, delivering vaccines in record time. We shut down travel from China early, which saved countless lives. If the Democrats had been in charge, it would have been much worse. Now, we're focused on bringing the economy back faster than anyone thought possible." Trump defended his administration's response, pointing to Operation Warp Speed, which helped accelerate the development of COVID-19 vaccines. He also emphasized the need to reopen the economy fully and avoid additional lockdowns that would hurt businesses. Harris emphasizes public health measures, expanded testing, and stricter federal guidelines. Trump focuses on his administration's vaccine achievements and the need to avoid further economic damage from restrictions. Harris said, "As a former prosecutor, I understand that we must reform our criminal justice system. We need to address systemic racism in policing, invest in communities of color, and hold law enforcement accountable. The time for empty promises is over." Harris highlighted the need for comprehensive criminal justice reform, including ending racial disparities in policing and investing in minority communities. She also called for holding law enforcement accountable through measures like banning chokeholds and ending qualified immunity. Trump said, "Law and order. That's what the American people want, and that's what we're going to deliver." The radical left wants to defund the police and let crime run rampant. We need to support our law enforcement, not tear them down. The violence in cities under Democratic leadership is out of control, and we're going to stop it. Trump argued that maintaining law and order is essential for keeping communities safe. He positioned himself as a strong supporter of law enforcement and criticized the movement to defund the police, arguing that it would lead to more violence and chaos. Harris focuses on reforming law enforcement and addressing systemic racism, while Trump emphasizes strong support for law enforcement and maintaining law and order. But Harris says, "We need comprehensive immigration reform that offers a pathway to citizenship for dreamers and treats immigrants with dignity. The cruelty of separating families at the border must end. America is a nation of immigrants, and we need policies that reflect our values." Harris called for comprehensive immigration reform with a focus on creating a pathway to citizenship for dreamers and ending harsh immigration policies like family separations at the border. She emphasized the need for humane immigration policies that respect the dignity of immigrants. Former President Trump wasn't done. He said, "We need strong borders. Without borders, we don't have a country. My administration built the wall, and it worked. Illegal immigration dropped, and we kept criminals and drugs out. We're going to keep fighting to stop illegal immigration and protect American jobs." Trump stood firm on his immigration policy, focusing on border security and his administration's success in reducing illegal immigration. He promised to continue building the wall and enforcing immigration laws to protect American jobs and public safety. Harris advocates for comprehensive immigration reform and a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, while Trump prioritizes border security and enforcement of immigration laws. So there you have it, two very different visions for America's future. Whether you're focused on the economy, healthcare, or law enforcement, the policies debated tonight have real implications for everyday Americans. Now it's up to you to decide which direction you want the country to go. Make your voice heard in the 2024 election. Your future depends